Good day, this is Ray. Today is Saturday, March 28th, 2026 for me, another day of learning and growing. Hope that you, your family, friends, and loved ones are doing well and staying safe. So this is a harder video to record than I thought it would be, because if you saw the title of the video, I completed my debt journey March 18th of this year. And I am struggling with words to find to be able to express how I feel. And I'm still not entirely sure how to feel now that all of my debt is paid off. Not only consumer debt, but mortgage debt. And I'll end this video, if I remember, with sharing exactly how much total debt I had, because I've only shared up until this point how much non-mortgage / consumer debt I had. So it's been quite a journey, and I'll tell you exactly how long it took me, because I looked at my spreadsheets this morning and calculated that. So my consumer debt journey started in June of 2020, where I identified it possibly before, but that was the earliest time that I was able to find that I had a specific number to my debt. But as of June 2020, my consumer debt was $115,041.89. And to be honest, I didn't think it would be possible initially to pay off that debt. I considered bankruptcy, but the biggest part of my debt has always been student loans. And what's funny is the last debt I paid off was the student loan. So let me just go ahead and show you each year how much debt I was able to pay off. And it kind of explain as to where I was in my life during that time. So June 2020 to January 2021, I paid off $17,521.32. I was back at home with my parents. It was after I was diagnosed with lupus, and at that time I was down about 50 pounds from my normal weight. I had just moved back cross country, took on considerable debt after breaking the lease, and accrued medical debt, blah, blah, blah. So because I was at home, I was able to dump that much money into my debt. And plus we were on lockdown. So that was, again, $17,521.32. From February 2021 to December 2021, I paid off $19,562.205. It would have been during that time that I started to learn how to budget, for one thing. And again, we were on lockdown, COVID restrictions, as I was able to pay off almost $20,000 worth of non-mortgage debt. 2022 was a little different because that was the first year I became a homeowner. So I was able to pay off in that first year as a homeowner $10,480.04. Of course, I'm paying less because I've taken on new bills. I'm trying to figure out how to manage the new bills that I had: HOA, mortgage, electricity, gas, all those bills, and security. Just being a homeowner. And, even if I rented, I would have had more bills. So paid off about $9,000 less than the previous year, but 2023. I paid a little less off that year than I did the year before. I paid $9,946.51. So I did have a substantial tax bill that had to deal with a couple of things that happened at home that I had to cover. So that was less. And then 2024 is when I think I started to get an idea as to how much I could pay off, because I paid off $12,540.42. Well, I'm having a hard time saying dollar amounts. It is what it is. So I thought that would probably be the pace I would maintain for the next few years, because 2025 I paid off approximately that, $12,084.02. But also at that time I thought it would be my last personal loan. I paid off I'm going to consider that the last personal loan. So up to that point, let me do some quick math. But from the beginning to 2025, I was able to pay off $82,854.36. The reason why I'm saying that is because in 2026, a huge thing happened for me. I sold my home, and I was able to pay off the rest of the debt. At the beginning of this year, I did accrue another loan, which was $6,000, and that was to cover a replacement HVAC, some painting, and some repairs to the home. I actually ended up buying a stove, a new stove for the place, and to just kind of help, get it sold. So anyway, I made enough of a profit to be able to pay off the rest of my debt, which was $32,187.53. Now let me tell you something. I'm in shock. I still feel that way. I'm still not sure how to take it all in, because I've had nothing but consumer debt since 18 years old. So almost 30 years that I've had consumer debt. And to get off of that vicious cycle, to have that weight on my shoulders lifted after years and years of struggling, a little bit sooner than I had anticipated with the sale of the house. I was on another person's YouTube channel and commented to somebody that if I hadn't sold the house, it probably would have taken me about 3 more years to be able to pay off the debt. So all in all, I was able to pay off my consumer debt in 5 years and 9 months. Is that right? Yeah, 5 years and 9 months it took me to pay off that. So if I added 3 more years to that, it would take me 8 years. Let me say this. So, a lot of people feel like, and from what I've heard, is that they don't want to spend a lot of time paying off debt. They don't want to feel like their life is just dedicated to paying off debt. And let me tell you something. So with effort, focus, and time, and of course, being able to have sold my home sold my home to pay off the rest of it, I was able to pay off over $82,000 worth of debt while making less than 6 figures, while dealing with health issues, while, a lot of years I was hitting my out-of-pocket maximum for my medical from medical bills, and that was $4,600 right there. Some years I was just hitting a deductible, $1,600 out of pocket, and paying towards my out-of-pocket maximum. So I had a lot of challenges, and just never thought it would come to this. But I promise to tell you exactly what the highest amount of debt I had total. So with the non-mortgage debt and the mortgage debt combined, my total debt was $290,849.13. I've never shared that number. It was, again, $290,849.13. That's a lot. And that number didn't keep me up at night. It was the $115,041.89, because that was my focus. That was my main driver, was to get out of that debt. And now that I'm out of that, I'm in the next phase, which is establishing a full emergency fund, and then starting to invest and prepare for retirement. Now, I've been really establishing a system and a way to be able to teach this. I've been kind of hesitant on really teaching it until I had gotten close to paying off the debt or paying off the debt, and I'm here. And so I think next month I'm going to go ahead and publish my website, notinmybudget.com, and really start to teach people how I did it and what challenges I faced along the way, and how to maintain discipline and having side hustles on top of a regular income, how that helped to accelerate this debt pay down. And I just really want to encourage you to get started. Don't wait. There's nobody telling you to do this. It should just be upon you to say, you know what, I'm going to tackle this thing. I'm going to endure, whether you're doing it solo like I have, or you're doing it as a couple, or you're married, and there is a way out. There's a way for you to do this. Making less six figures. If you make 6 figures or more, then the journey might be easier. It might be quicker for you to pay it off than I did. So I'm going to wrap up this video. I don't want to make this too long, and hopefully you got something out of this. Hopefully you're encouraged to continue on your journey. But if you made it this far, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. You'll know when to post my videos. You can find me at youtube.com/Not In My Budget. As always, thank you for watching. You all take care.